Boom. We're here. We are here. Thanks for turning me down. I appreciate that. If you're listening, share, rate, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let me get my feet on the ground. We getting grounded out here, son. We getting grounded. If you're listening, you could also watch Big Mood TV. It's a YouTube channel. We out here. Boom. So what's up? We live, baby. Hi to everybody on Instagram. Got this Mac Miller playing. My whole life has been a vibe recently. Obviously, I work from home, so I have speakers that go throughout the whole entire house, right? So every room you go to is Mac Miller, just vibing throughout the whole entire house. Like we're on oxys, just chilling throughout the house. But we're not, We're not. But we are. But we're not. Feel pretty high sometimes. I felt super disassociated yesterday. I was like, damn, I'm getting a free lapse right now. But anyway, so I wanted to start today with something I haven't done in almost 8 years, because they tell you you're supposed to do this shit all the time. They say, you're supposed to do, not you're supposed to, but they encourage people to do gratitude lists, right? I don't know, when was the last time you did a gratitude list? I don't know. I don't remember the last time. But what some of the things I'm grateful for, I'm grateful for my kid. I'm grateful for my kid. You know what I mean? That was probably the most. That's where I got my head came out of my ass. That's where my head came out of my ass a little bit. 27. I don't know if 27 is a young dad, but it was. I stopped cheating when I was 27. Stopped cheating. Started doing 12-step more. Started being more conscientious about where I was spending money. Still spend too much money. Maybe that'll change soon. Hope so. That's annoying. It's an annoying one. But I'm happy. I care about the kid. Peace, Dougie. But I'm grateful for the little one. But the second thing I'm most grateful for is my vulnerability. That's what the whole brand is built off of. You know what I mean? The whole thing, everything I do is built off just being myself. Someone asked me today, they're like, do you make an Instagram page just for your podcast? I was like, but the podcast, the posts, the podcast, me being me in like a day-to-day life, me working out, me like just, this is how I am. I'm not pretending. There's no branding here. This is just how I am. Ain't no fronting, ain't no faking the front. It's just organized. It's more organized in certain frameworks. You know what I mean? Like, what you do, the way you are one place is the way you are everywhere, or it should be that way, right? It should be that way. And I encourage you, ask yourself, if, are you showing up the same place everywhere? Are you showing up in integrity everywhere? And if you're not, is that working for you? And that's the question you ask yourself. It's not a question for me to ask you or for me to answer. I had a long conversation with a fella today. Long conversation with a fella today, about where integrity was falling short in his life and how it was stopping him from living his life to his ultimate potential. And just after asking him question after question after question, it was like, hey man, this is showing up everywhere. It's showing up everywhere. For me, what shows up everywhere? I give my power away. That shows up everywhere. That shows up everywhere, dude. What's good, everyone? What's good, Mandy? I love you, girl. But I give my power away. I give my power away to women, not even in a sexual manner. That's what I'm in this process, this personal development process, and what I'm realizing is I source powerful women into my life, like not even romantically, but just as friends, as mentors, as, just friends, mentors, just people, companions, people around me. I source and yeah, I forgot my fucking point. Years of drugs, did hella drugs. But why do I source all these powerful women? I don't know. Give my power away. I give all these powerful women my all my power. What they think of me and what they think of me and their rejection and my perceived rejection from them is can determine how my whole day goes. It can determine how my whole day goes. You know what I mean? It's pretty wild. It's pretty wild. Give all my power away, man. You got to see where that shows up. You know what I mean? Another thing I'm grateful for, my screen lock. Another thing I'm grateful for is my ability to go deep with people. That's something I'm proud of. Ooh, I forget Mac Miller was such a vibe, man. But that's like my superpower. My superpower is that I see people, I see people and I hear people. Hey, yeah, I see people. That's I'm going to talk about a big project I'm working on, but when you have as many life experiences, extreme and tragic life experiences like I've had, and my experience is no different. My experience has been interesting because it's been so extreme, but what's been interesting about it is that it's been such a wide array of experiences. It makes it so I can even understand a woman's, experience. Because, if you know sexual trauma, I know sexual trauma, XYZ. And, I can even on a certain level, let me not diminish the female experience. Like I fucking get it, but because I've dealt with so many extreme situations, I feel like I have an ability to see people and see people for who they are. And I value that. And that's what makes me a coach, What's up, Raj? Man, it all goes into the story that I'm proud of, but yeah, just wrote some things that I was grateful for today. And the value of that is, sometimes I start to think that I deserve shit. I've been talking about that for years. I just met with a friend of mine who was a super, super, super successful guy. And he filed double bankruptcy, and he was just living a fucking huge life, and he just had a huge head, and I was like, fuck, that'll be me. If I start to think I deserve some shit, I will go broke. I see that in me. I see it. Friend of mine, Gio. Actually, was it Gio? No, friend of mine, Gio said, if you can't steward $30, you can't steward $30,000. Shout out to him with the lesson right there. What up to everybody on live? How's that going? But yeah, I started to think I deserve some shit. You know what I mean? Got to keep that ego out of it. So doing those gratitude lists, I'm going to work on doing a gratitude list. I'm going to try every day. Actually, try is bullshit. There's a hummingbird outside my window. I guess I'm doing a gratitude list every day. Hummingbird outside the window. Is that a message? Message? Don't be a menace to South Central. If you know, you know. You probably don't know, though. My listeners probably don't know what that's from. But yeah, hummingbird outside the window while talking about doing a gratitude list. It must happen once a day. But the way I do the podcast is just, I write myself lines and then I just go. That's just the way I do the podcast. So the line I wrote to myself is, and I did a whole podcast on this before, I lie to myself, yo. I be lying to myself. And I enroll other people in the lies of myself. I get people enrolled in my bullshit. I get people enrolled in all my bullshit. Let that bitch breathe. Yeah. I began people enrolled in my bullshit, in my lies about myself. Even the even the self-deprecating ones, of course. The unworthiness. Can you change the song, please? The unworthiness conversations, the lies that I ain't shit, I be enrolling myself that I ain't shit. And then I enroll myself that I'm the greatest thing on earth. That's that. There's very little balance in my life. I'm very, very black and white thinker. And here's the lie I tell myself. I'm like, it's duality, baby. I'm both. That's the bullshit I tell myself. But a little bit of it's true. There's a little bit of duality there, right? Like I am both. So there's a little bit of truth, but I don't know. I be lying to myself though. But the way to gauge the truth in my life is by the actions that I'm taking. My sponsor would be like, okay, I hear you talking. Well, tell me what your life looks like. Show me what your life looks like. This is flames. What does your life look like? And if I look at my life, I love my life. I got a dope life. Very free man. Can walk where any free man can go. I was thinking about that today. When I was 30 days sober, I was in Palm Springs. I was on a bicycle. I was sopping wet. I was soaking wet. That's how I would describe my first 30 days sober was wet. I was just wet. My mouth was wet. My eyes were wet. My body was wet. It was disgusting. Everything was wet. And then when I got out of treatment, it was December and it was already 80 degrees in Palm Springs, and I had no money to my name, and I had a bicycle, and I had to got to remember that stuff. Yeah, and now I move about the world as a free man. Was in Austin last week. Gonna be in New York next week. Gonna be back in Austin in October. End of the month, end of September. Then Nashville. Then back to Austin. I get to move anywhere the fucking free man gets to go. And it went from being soaking wet, sopping wet, on a bicycle with a fucking duffel bag, That's why you do the gratitude list. Can you play 2009 by Mac Miller? Just play that single song, just because that's the song I'm vibing with these days. But yeah, it's so often I lie to myself, but it's not what I heard this dude say. It's not what your mind tells you what your feet are doing. If you don't know the song 2009 by Mac Miller, just look it up. Shit is fuego. But yeah, if we're going to get a message today, it's the actions you take. And tell me what your life looks like. Tell me what's showing up in your life. Tell me how it's showing up. You know what I mean? On this conversation I had with this young man today, I told him, I was like, you're a liar. I'm like, so you're a liar, man. He's like, damn. He's like, I am a liar. I was like, it's okay. It's okay that you're a liar. I'm a liar too. But just, we have to see where that's showing up in ourselves, where that's showing up in every day in our lives. You know what I mean? We got to be honest with ourselves. I got to be honest. Let me just fucking talk in the eye. I got to be honest with myself. Ooh, that beat is fuego. I got to be honest with myself, man. If I'm being honest with myself, pretty proud of myself these days. Ooh, pause. If I'm being honest with myself, I'm pretty proud of myself. If I'm being honest with myself, I think I do my best. Yeah. if I'm being honest with myself, I'm not the worst. I'm not the worst thing on the planet, you know? Not that bad. If I'm being honest with you, you ain't that bad either. You alright. Say less. you alright too. I feel like we forget that, you know? We alright. The other day, something, you know, I was listening back to that Corey George podcast clip, you know, and someone said this in a meeting, or someone didn't say in a meeting, but I thought about it. It just reminded me of something that I said in a podcast last year. If I could tell my young self one thing, my 4-year-old, my 6-year-old self, my 16-year-old self, my 25-year-old self, myself 6 months ago when I had a bit of a breakdown, you know, you're okay. Just, I wish there was an angel in my ear. It just said, you're okay. I wish someone would just rub my back and say, you're okay. Sometimes. That's probably the loneliest part, you know? So I wish I had a gal who would just tell me it's okay sometimes, you know? It's probably the hardest part of me being single, just not having a lady pour into you, you know? I can do it myself. I tell myself I do, obviously. I fill myself up. But not having someone pour into you and to, like, you know, I feel like there's let's go down this topic. I feel like there's a very cool dynamic between men and women, especially at the age that I'm in. I'm in the building stage of my life, you know, like got this corporation, you know, got these new projects, new creative projects. I will talk about one in a second. Got these new creative projects, got this, you know, influx of money coming in, you know, new opportunity. And there's this dynamic of something that I want to be able to be doing this and to have someone like supporting me, to have like a partner to support, you know, and kind of cheer me on, you know. My son's mom did a great job. She got the worst of it though. I was broke as fuck. She held it down. She couldn't hold on though. Shout out to her though. She was on my gratitude list. Good for her. She holds it down during this building stage, you know. She holds it down. She does. But we just don't have that relationship anymore, you know what I'm saying? We missed each other. 2 planes passing each other. 2 birds. We just missed each other, you know what I'm saying? And that's all good. But I do miss, I do want the, there is something special about the, you know, man building his thing, whatever his thing may be, and someone supporting him and just, you know, being able to come home to some sort of support system. But I got the homies here. They gas your boy's head up all the time, you know, and I get to put the team on, you know what I mean? So that's tight too. Both ends. I want both, you know what I mean? So, but being single is interesting. Being single is interesting. I haven't been, you know, I might have said this before, but I never, since my unhealthy sexual relationship as a young lad until I was 30, I haven't been like outside of an unhealthy sexual relationship. Literally 24 years. I've been in some sort of thing. You could play Right. Right would be the next song I'd like to hear. I've been in some sort of unhealthy thing. So this has been my first time alone. It's my first time alone, which is good for you. It's good to be alone. I like fat from this angle. I don't like this angle. This angle's gonna be better. Finger guns. Ooh. But yeah, being alone is good for you. You know, part of some of the disciplines that I love is gaining by taking away. I love fasting. I love I love the idea of how do I get rid of this? I love the idea of depriving myself of certain things, like withholding myself from sex, withholding myself from certain foods, only eating one meal a day, you know, going vegetarian, withholding meat for myself. I don't know, did I eat meat today? Yeah, one meal with meat in it. I only think I've only eaten one meal today. Ate some passion fruit, that was fire. But yeah, I like to withhold. I don't watch porn or masturbate. I like to hold all that in and go inward and maintain all my energy, and it all comes out creatively, and it's discipline. It all creates discipline for me. You know what I mean? It's been great for my mindset, and that's been over the last, since my separation. It's been part of my practice. You know, is it hard? Yes, sometimes, but it's been good for me. And it's not. I'm not religious about it. That's the cool thing. You don't have to be religious about your disciplines. That's a kind of a contradiction, because disciplines means like you want to be strict about it. But I'm going to say it anyway. You don't have to be religious about your disciplines. You can still practice your disciplines and still have wiggle room without it. Like if I eat more than one meal a day, I'm not going to be like, no, you fucked up. I don't do that. You know what I mean? If I did masturbate, I wouldn't be like, no, you ruined your life. I wouldn't like it, because I would be like, oh, I just went all these days without it, and I just did it, and it wasn't even that good. You know what I mean? It never feels worth it if I do. It never feels worth it. It's always like, I always feel like I gave a little bit of piece away, gave a piece away of me, that give a piece of myself away that was unnecessary to give away. You know, that's how it feels. That's how it feels now. You know, so anyway, and this started, and this is the practice. This started with one sentence. I lie to myself. What actions am I taking? How much time have we done? 25 minutes. And it started with one sentence. I love it. That's the practice. That's what we do here. That's what we do here. Takes a little time to get going, but that's what we do here. You know, okay, so I'm gonna shout somebody out, because she's been such the homie and such a support system. I've been in this Ascension Leadership Academy container since November, and my life has really transformed, man. If I haven't, I've talked about Ascension Leadership Academy, and if you want more information about it, Eric_Big Move Coach on Instagram, DM me, and we'll talk about it. But I've been in this container since last November. I did it virtually because it was during COVID, and then I did it in person in Austin. That's why I've been back and forth through Austin, from here to Austin. So, but my friend Julia and I have gotten super close, and she's been taking me through some exercises that have really been helping me with some self-worth. And I'm not gonna break down her exercises, because that's her work, and she gets to brand it, and she gets to change the world with her work. But one thing that came out of it was Black Lovable Me. Black Lovable Me. And you can't hear the music playing, but it's breaking at the right time. Right, Matt? Let that shit breathe. Let that shit breathe. I've had an interesting experience, interesting Black experience. We were just talking about it a little bit before we came online. I grew up, I've talked about it ad nauseum on here. Just grew up with a lot of white people, man. The racial trauma I've experienced has been more detrimental to me than sexual trauma, than the violence. The racial experience has been more detrimental, and like it still affects. It's still, like, I was talking to my mom about it. Some Black kids are like the one Black kid in the room and feel special. Some people are the one person in the room and feel special. But like, my response was the one Black kid in the room, and I felt like immense discomfort. And it was already like, that was my like default, was immense discomfort. Felt immense discomfort. And then on top of that, growing up, New York City, see, people don't know, like, people have a certain image of New York City as like this, cultural melting pot. New York City is racist as fuck, dog. Low key. Super, actually, if you're from there, it's high key racist. High key racist. The policing, stop and frisk. My brother worked with stop and frisk for a long time. They, at one point in New York City, stopped and frisked more black people than there were black people in the city. So that means they stopped and frisked the same black people over and over and over again. You know what I mean? And most times there was nothing found. They were just unsolicited. You know what I mean? New York City's been built on some racist structures. But California is really racist too. Oh, hold on. California's had some racist infrastructures as well. But New York City, I just had quite the racist experience in New York City. But that quote, "Black lovable me," just really hit home. Just really hit home for me. Yeah, man, that just hit home. And it played into the Unworthiness Conversation. What's up, K Sounds? Shout out. K Sounds, actually, we used his intro music for a long time. We used his beats, so shout out to him. He's part of the foundation of the podcast. Been with us from the beginning. Shout out. But yeah, that there's a big unworthiness conversation that I have. Whether it be the sexual trauma or the racial trauma, for me, there's been a bit of unworthiness conversation. Let me just stop and tell you, you're worthy to be here. We want you here, man. We want you here. I want you here. I want you here, man. People told me that this weekend, It was nice to hear, you know what I mean? It was nice. But yeah, big unworthy. I think so many of us have that unworthiness conversation. Are we worthy of that job? Are we worthy of that relationship? So that's a conversation for me to have, right? That supportive relationship, that reciprocal relationship that I want. That reciprocal relationship that I want. Do I feel like I'm worthy of it? Because I am worthy of it. If I ask myself, like, I am worthy of it, but do I honestly believe that I'm worthy of it? And if I do believe that, do I call it in? Do I call that in? You know what I mean? Black lovable me. That shit's fire. That shit's fire. Black lovable me. But that unworthiness conversation, let's try to put that to bed. Let's all try to put that to bed, right? Ooh. Yeah, let's all try to put that to bed. You worth it, baby. Yeah. Last line we got. Be humble and do your own work. So it's interesting, because that's what's the word? Subjective. Because work is different for everybody. This guy I was having a conversation with today asked me, he was like, how long did it take you to heal your, from your whatever the fuck that was? Whatever the fuck my thing was. How long did it take me to heal from that? And it took a long time. Took a long time. But I did my work. And I do my work. And my work looks different. 15 years of therapy. Fucking meditation, AA. Doing the 12 steps. Fucking exercise, diet. Just companionship. Service work. That's my work. And my work is my life's purpose, and I've dedicated, and that's what qualifies me to do what I do, and that's why I jump on this microphone, is because my life is dedicated to my work. My work being my healing, and dedicating my healing, and helping other people find their healing through me finding my healing. I've dedicated my entire life to it. Everything I do from morning to bedtime is about healing and getting better, either my healing or somebody else's healing. From sun up to sundown. That's what it's about. But point is, be humble. Be humble. Humble yourself. Bend the knee and do your work. Yeah. So we'll stop there. We're not going to stop there, but we'll close the book there, and then we're going to freestyle for the rest of the time. Hold on 1 second. Let me let that bitch breathe. What are we doing on time? 32. What's good? Working on some. So what's cool about the new investments into the business is that we get to focus on creative, finishing the last quarter of the year. We get to really focus on creative. Yo, the mosquitoes nowadays, they be pulling up your pants, bro. They be pulling up your pants and like climbing up your legs and shit. Wow. It's a whole new breed of mosquito. They be fucking doing the most. Say less. But yeah, we get to focus on a lot of creative moving forward. We don't have to worry about so much of the doing. We get to focus a lot on the what we get to create in the world. What's up, Caesar? So that's a dope place to be. We get to focus a lot on when we don't have to worry about like money, we get to focus on service in the community. I was texting Dylan yesterday. I was like, we're not doing enough in the community. When we are doing a lot in the community, I feel it, and I feel super connected, and I feel like we're making a difference. And right now, I can tell you honestly, we're not doing enough in the community, and we need to be doing more. So we got some projects coming up, but we have a lot of creative projects coming up, so it's exciting stuff. But the point is, we got to be a service. We got to be a service. We got to make a change in the world. You know what I mean? Got to make a change in the world. And you know what else? Has been on my mind recently is making these authentic human connections. You know what I mean? I'm an isolator. You know what I mean? I have like my people, and I'm not down to like make new friends. You know what I mean? Like, I'm good. I'm good on that. But I've been making some new connections with people, new friendships, and that's really been a blessing recently. It's been being able to make some new connections. So I want to encourage you. We'll finish the podcast with this. I want to encourage you to call the most stretchy person in your life. So is it your father? If you haven't called your father in a year, 6 months. If it's that old friend that you haven't talked to in 5 years, but you used to be best friends. If it's that ex-girlfriend you hurt, but you still care about, give her a call. Make amends. If it's your father, just call and connect. If it's that old friend, tell him you miss him. You know what I mean? Not enough time. This is a perfect song for this. It makes me want to cry a little bit. Not enough time, man. Not enough time not to be connecting with each other. Not enough time. So we'll finish with that. So if you listened all the way through, we love you. Share, rate, subscribe. All that. If you're listening, you could also watch YouTube, Big Blue TV. We out here. Peace.